Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome all of you to the online lecture system of thermodynamics 2. In today's lecture, we will be able to learn about the Brayton cycle with intercooling, reheating and regeneration. So let's start our lecture. In today's lecture, we will be able to learn about the Brayton cycle with intercooling, reheating and regeneration. As all of you know that the network of a gas turbine cycle is the difference between the turbine work output and the compressor work input. This network can be increased by either decreasing the compressor work or increasing the turbine work or both. As it has been already studied in chapter number 7 of the Sangel book that the work required to compress a gas between two specific pressure can be decreasing by carrying out the compression process in stages and cooling the gas in between. That is using the multi-stage compression with intercooling. As the number of stages increased, the compression process become nearly isothermal. Similarly, the work output of a turbine operating between two pressure levels can be increased by expanding the gas in stages and reheating. This is accomplished without raising the maximum temperature in the cycle. As the number of stages increased, the expansion process become nearly isothermal. This argument is further refined with the principle that during a steady flow compression or expansion, work is proportional to the specific volume of the fluid. Therefore, the specific volume of the working fluid should be as low as possible during compression process and as high as possible during expansion process. So this principle is accurately adopted by intercooling and reheating. In simple words, that intercooling is linked with compression process and reheating is linked with expansion process. Furthermore, we can also explain the intercooling and reheating process with a TS diagram. In figure 9-44, a TS diagram of the regeneration, intercooling and reheating is presented. The gas entered the first stage of the compressor at state 1, is compressed isentropically to an intermediate pressure P2 and is cooled at constant pressure ratio to state number 3. Here T1 is equal to T3. Temperature at point number 1 will be equal to temperature at point number 3, and in second stage it is compressed isentropically to a final pressure P4 at state number 4. At this state, the gas enters the regenerator where it is heated to T5 at constant pressure. In ideal regeneration, the gas leave the regenerator at a temperature of the turbine exit, and T5 will be equal to T9. At this line, temperature at 0.5 will be equal to temperature at point number 9. The primary heat addition during a combustion process will take place between state number 5 and state number 6, which can be represented by Qn. The gas enters the first stage of the turbine at state number 6 and expand isentropically to state number 7, where it enters to the reheater. It is reheated at constant pressure to state number 8. Here at state number 8, temperature at point 8 is equal to temperature at point number 6. So T8 will be equal to T6, where it enters to the second stage of a turbine. The gas exits the turbine at state number 9 and enters the regenerator, where it is cooled to state number 10 at constant pressure. The cycle is completed by cooling the gas to state number 10 at constant pressure. This cycle is completed, and now further we will explain the pressure ratio related to the compression process and expansion process. Similarly, the work input of a two-stage compressor is minimized when equal pressure ratio are maintained across each stages. It can be shown that this procedure also maximizes the turbine work output. For very best performance, P2 by P1 is equal to P4 by P3, and P6 by P7 is equal to P8 by P9. In this analysis, we will consider the ideal regeneration with intercooling and reheating. But in case of actual gas turbine cycle, due to the irreversibility factor that are present within compressor, the turbine and the regenerator as well as the pressure drops in the heat exchanger. So these all parameters should be considered, as the back work ratio of a gas turbine cycle improve as a result of intercooling and reheating. However, this does not mean that the thermal efficiency will also be improved. The fact behind this argument is intercooling and reheating always decrease the thermal efficiency unless they are accomplished by regenerator. So, in gas turbine power plant, intercooling and reheating are always used in conjunction with regeneration. Here I will add one more thing. If the number of the compression and expansion stages increase, the ideal gas cycle with intercooling, reheating and regeneration approach to Erikson cycle. Now this cycle is also called Erikson cycle, and the thermal efficiency approach the theoretical limit, that is the Carnot efficiency. However, the contribution of each additional stages to the thermal efficiency is less and less, and the use of more than 2 or 3 stages can be justified economically as well. So hope you will understand this lecture better. The overall conclusion of this lecture is to modify the Brayton cycle with intercooling and reheating. But one thing should be remembered, that intercooling and reheating is always occur with regeneration. In this lecture we have studied the basic block diagram of the reheating and regeneration. We have also explained the TS diagram of reheating, intercooling and regeneration. We have also considered the pressure ratio for a maximum thermal efficiency output. So our next lecture will be to solve numerical problems with intercooling and reheating as well. Thank you very much for your attention.